Question number 6. There's a whole lot of buzz about one big bodybuilder out there, and he's not the biggest. It's Derek Lunsford. Derek Lunsford wound up at the Pittsburgh Pro and guest posed for Jim Mannion along with Brandon Curry and a few other bodybuilders, but he was the talk of the town. This guy at 252 pounds, everyone's saying, why are you sunking down to the 212-pound division? Why? You're losing too much size. You're losing too much muscle. Some of that buzz was geared towards James Flex Lewis. A lot of people thought Flex Lewis was one of the top 3 bodybuilders in the world, but he refused to come out of the 212 to test the waters. Derek Lunsford, this guy right now, I think he's a competitor that can definitely make waves, not in the top 5. I think the top 3 or 4. He's one of those guys that can make waves this year. I know he's being trained and tutored by Hani Rambod, and Hani Rambod has a pretty impressive resume. He's worked with Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and Phil Heath, and a slew of other people, Jeremy Bendia, and now he's got Derek Lunsford in his cap. If I'm Hani Rambod and I'm advising Derek Lunsford, is it necessary to go back and win a contest you know you can win? Nah, let's raise the bar. Let's go be the best in the world. Derek, if you want to listen to some good sound advice, get in that open division, make some waves. Not only do I think that you're a top 4 athlete, if the stars align, you could possibly win that bad boy. We've already seen you win the 212. No one's going to be surprised if you go back and you beat these guys that you've always and have already beaten. You've done that. You've been there. We saw the movie. We got the popcorn. Let's go in the open division. Make it exciting. Take on this challenge. It's $400,000 prize. And guess what? You might get some nice feathers in your hat. You beat Brandon Curry, you beat Hadi Chupin, you beat William Bonek, you beat Big Ramy. You're a history maker. You're a superstar, a megastar. Everyone wants to see Derek Lunsford, who's now an Indiana transplant who lives in Florida, go in the open category. Derek, we're throwing down the gauntlet. We want to see you in the open, be the bodybuilder of the year, shake it up. As a matter of fact, there's a couple shows before the Olympia if you want to surprise us, but let's do the open Olympia. That's from me to you. Question number 7. All right, a lot of you guys have been talking about the classic physique division. Well, there's only one king of the classic, and that's 3-time Olympia champion Chris Bumstead. He's got a lock on that title, although it is very deep in talent, and we are seeing every show another bodybuilder who looks like they might be able to challenge Chris Bumstead or at least present some type of a threat. I told these guys 5 years ago that one day we'll be talking about the classic physique as if we're talking about Mr. Olympia. I honestly believe that on some point, if the Olympia committee is willing, we should take the winner of the 212, the winner of our classic, the winner of our open, and the winner of our men's physique, parade them all out on stage at the end of the Olympia, and take a look at all of those athletes standing there and have some type of supplemental award. You know, like a fan's favorite award. Who do we like out of all of them? There can be only one champion, but who do we like overall? I'd love to see Chris Bumstead stand on stage next to our Mr. Olympia champion, whoever that might be, Big Ramy, who a lot of people right now are questioning whether or not he's going to be back in the Olympia. Only Big Ramy has the answer to that. I know he has 2 Sandals to his credit. I know he's been missing in action on the landscape of professional bodybuilding, but don't discount this guy's hunger. He's hungry. He says he wants out at 38. This may be his last year in the Mr. Olympia, but I've been on record as stating our classic physique winner, Chris Bumstead, 3 times, arguably has the best physique on the planet right now in any contest. All he has to do is change his posing trunks and go from the classic physique to the open bodybuilding, stand next to these guys, and I'm choosing Chris Bumstead every day, twice on Tuesday. Let's find out whether or not that's going to happen this December in Las Vegas. Question number 8. All right, the emails that I got coming in on my little computer at home are related to women's bikini. A lot of talk is not necessarily about the champion, Jen Dory, who won the Olympia last year, and she's going to be defending her title as a promoter. She's got a show coming up out in Las Vegas, September the 10th. I know that because it's one day after my birthday, and I'll be there along with her new husband, Mark Anthony. Make sure you check that out in Las Vegas at the Alexis Park. But the talk about women's bikini is what Ashley Kaltwasser is doing to all these bikini girls in these shows. She's won, I think, 33, 34 contests, which no other athlete in the history of professional physical fitness has done. She's won more contests than any active or retired athlete in the IFBB Pro League. All Ashley does is just stays in shape year-round, and she goes from one contest to the next, winning. Okay, she's a 3-time Olympia champion. She's won the Miss International at the Arnold Classic, but she's literally on a tour to see how many shows she can win, and she doesn't have to change up her formula. I mean, she's got the goods. It's tough for her when the Olympia comes around because she's competing against girls that don't compete very often. But man, is she racking up those $3,000, $5,000 checks around the country, representing her sponsors, seeing the world, doing what she loves to do, and she will continue to rack up these titles as long as she stays in shape. What will she do on the Olympia stage? That has yet to be seen. But what she's doing off the Olympia stage can't be matched by any other athlete, bodybuilder, physique, anything. She's doing the business, and congratulations to Ashley Kaltwasser. I don't fault her for denying these other girls an opportunity to get to the Ms. Olympia, because how you get there is you have to either win or you got to get a lot of points. She's a lifetime qualified athlete at the Olympia, but that doesn't mean you sit at home and watch other people qualify. She goes out there and she stops people from qualifying. Good on you, Ashley. Question number 9, the Olympia. How do I feel about it going back to Las Vegas after a 2-year hiatus over in Orlando, Florida? Let me tell you something. I was instrumental in getting that Olympia to Las Vegas back in 1999. I was licking my chomps in 1998, going to New York, thinking that with the vacancy of the Olympia, no returning champion, I might be able to win that bad boy. Well, here comes Ronnie Coleman to just ruin everyone's dreams, but there was no way that show was going to stay in the Big Apple. Myself and Paul Dillette were instrumental in getting it moved out to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas, it stayed all the way up until 2020 when the pandemic hit, and we wound up going out to Orlando, Florida. Thank goodness Orlando and Florida did not close down, and we had a CEO of the Olympia in Jake Wood that was going to make sure that contest happened, and it did. If it didn't, Big Rami's not Mr. Olympia. Not once, but twice we stayed in Orlando, and now we're coming back to Las Vegas. The plan originally back in 2020 was to have it at the Planet Hollywood in the world-famous Zappo Theater and inside the brand-new Venetian Expo and Convention Center. It's a new location. So all of you people with the preconceived notions of what the Olympia is going to look like in Las Vegas, you have no idea. The production value, the quality of the sound, the stage, the expo, all of that is on a whole nother level. Jake Wood, Dan Solomon, Tamer Ogundy, Tim Gardner, and all the people that are working within the Olympia infrastructure have gone way above and beyond the call of duty. So I'm super excited. We've had almost 2 years to kind of organize what it's going to look like, and now it's coming to a reality. The VIP tickets are already sold out, and for those of you that want a piece of it, go to MrOlympia.com to find out all the information, the schedule of events. It's a huge weekend. It actually starts on Tuesday with the Amateur Olympia going down. Remember, we got the press conference. We have the 2 or 3 day expo going on. And we have all those different pro events, including the Wheelchair Olympia. It's going to be mega big, and I'm super excited. It's taking place right before the holidays, so plan your vacation time out there at the Olympia. And don't forget, Raider Nation is playing on Sunday, the day after the big weekend in bodybuilding in Las Vegas. Check out MrOlympia.com to get all your information. I'll definitely be there. All right, our final 10th question with Shawn Ray. A lot of people, I had addressed this previously in the last issue of Muscular Development in my 10 questions about the return of a potential Masters Olympia competition. I'm not in favor of it. It sounds great on paper. A lot of older bodybuilders are like, hey, how much are they going to be offering and where's it going to be? And people are super, super excited because they're over the hill gang and they want that Masters Olympia brought back. Well, I remember watching that Masters Olympia. But what I saw were active competitors that were competing and never stopped competing, and bodybuilders that were training and never stopped training. So you got to imagine the first time they had the Masters Olympia in 1994, I was busy getting second place in the Olympia, but Robbie Robinson was busy winning the first one. Watching Lou Ferrigno, Casey Viator, Chris Dickerson, Boryarko, those were my childhood stars in bodybuilding coming back to do this Masters Olympia. Well, it ran the gamut. And ultimately, Vince the Prince Taylor would wind up with 5 of those championships. My good buddy, rest in peace, Don Youngblood, would beat Vince Taylor in 2001, and we'd see Claude Gruel win one of those championships. And it was a very exciting time in bodybuilding. And then it just kind of went away. The Masters Olympia disappeared. Now there's some talk, some scuttlebutt about it coming back. The problem I have with it is I don't want to see a bunch of bodybuilders trying to come out of retirement that have stopped bodybuilding, that have stopped training, that took their foot off the gas, to then turn around and try to ramp everything up and gas up, and then they wind up getting hurt or injured along the way, or maybe even they die. Because it happens. Shit happens when you're a Masters athlete. You've got to take very good control of your physique. Make sure you're getting all of your checkups. I don't want to see any bodybuilder who's made it out try to jump back in and wind up injured. My good buddy Kevin Levrone, my friend Flex Wheeler, both made unsuccessful comebacks and had a few ailments as a result of those comebacks. So it's not for the faint-hearted, man. When we say Masters, what are we going to be looking at? Are we going to be looking at Masters athletes that we saw from yesterday's past that were winning championships? Or are we going to be watching Masters guys that won the last year's Masters championships that no one's ever heard of? I don't know. I mean, listen, there's a place for Masters athletes. I just don't think it's on the Olympia weekend. And that's my 10 questions with Shawn Ray here at musculardevelopment.com.